Hey astronauts, this is Brandy and welcome back to Astro-Tarot Research. We have another great pick a card for you guys this week. This week's pick a card is what will the rest of the year be like for you? So we're going to be uncovering the major events for the rest of the year, or maybe it's just a mindset that's changing. Whatever it is, we're going to get into it and see what the cards have to reveal to us. But before we get started, I do want to remind you to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell to stay notified. You can also follow me on Instagram at Astro_Tarot Research, where I post astrological and tarot findings, and all links to other social medias and private readings will be in the description bar below. Let us get into these piles now. We have pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, pile number 4, and pile number 5. So let's not waste any more time and just sit back, relax, and choose. Hey, pile number 1, let's see how the rest of the year will be for you. We have the Page of Swords. We have the 7 of Cups. We have the 4 of Wands. Let's do this. We have the King of Swords, and we have the Devil. All right. So it looks like for the rest of the year, you're going to be honing in on some ideas that you may have or some opportunities that have come for you. With the 4 of Wands being next to the 7 of Cups, as I've said many times before, it's more like the elements are clashing in a bit. So that's why the 4 of Wands is reversed. And what it looks like to me is there is a bit of dissatisfaction with maybe some of the options you've been presented to you, or maybe it is the ideas become more difficult when trying to push them into reality. We have the Devil card here, and the Devil card here can often indicate restrictions and boundaries, or in certain cases it can feel like things are a little bit hard to get going, like there's some upheaval, there's some pushback on what you're trying to get done. But we do have this King of Swords, so we do have you learning from your experiences. We have you growing in knowledge and in your ability to communicate what it is that you're trying to do. It's just a matter of being held back. Now, let us just kind of look at this from different angles so we can get a little bit more specific, because overall arching theme, what I get is, you know, you're trying to put yourself out there in the world. You're finding that things are a little bit more dissatisfactory, or you're not getting the support that you would like, and it's causing some stagnation because 4s kind of rule maybe complacency, but it's more like there's not a lot going on. You're just kind of in one area, one place, dealing with what you have. So there's no forward momentum. And so you're trying to figure out a way to overcome that and be empowered in a sense, and to not be restricted by whatever it is that's restricting you. It could be time. It could be a matter of not being so inspired. It could be a matter of resources, whatever the case may be. So let's look at this from a love perspective. From a very love perspective, it's saying that if you're single, that you have plenty of people available to you, plenty of other people who would be interested, who want to get to know you, who want to build connections, who want to, you know, talk to you, date you, whatever. But with the 4 of Wands in this position, it's saying that this doesn't seem to be leading anywhere, or you're not really finding a deep connection, or there's a lack of passion within the offers or, you know, communications and romantic bonds or relationships or situationships that you may be forming. They're just not doing it for you, okay? And so with the King of Swords here, it's more like you're taking a step back to look at things from a different perspective and finding solutions in order to gain that romantic partner. Because the Devil here I get this in romantic readings for, you know, several things. Next to the King of Swords, it comes up as being possibly the intentions of certain people may not be that pure. Or what it's saying is you could be represented by the King of Swords, and this is just saying that you feel like you're stuck in an unhealthy cycle that's becoming hard to break and overcome. And, you know, if you're dating, we all get into situations, or we all meet people who just really aren't that great or really don't connect with us. Their energy just doesn't connect with you personally. And I have a feeling that that's probably going to be the thing that's the cards are indicating here. They're saying that you're meeting people, but you're not connecting with them, and it feels like you're stuck with just maybe this small group of options, and you want more. You want something that feels right, that feels good, that feels like you can build from it, that you can go somewhere. And the devil here is like saying, hey, you're really not getting that. You're not getting that sense of fulfillment. This just feels a little bit more toxic. On the other hand, if you're in a relationship, these cards would indicate reevaluating the relationship. Anytime I get the Seven of Cups, it really does indicate feeling like maybe your partner isn't on the same page as you, or they're not moving forward to the next level, whatever that is, moving in, marriage, meeting friends. I don't know where it is that you may be with your partnership, but this feels like, oh man, we're kind of just stuck in this phase. Like, we're not really going anywhere. We're kind of just doing the same thing over and over again, and it's not what I want. I'm not getting what I want out of this. I'm not getting the passion. I'm not getting the romance. I'm just getting this, maybe some good conversations. Maybe I learn a few things from this person, but I'm not getting that sense of deep fulfillment. And it feels a little dishonest, because the Devil card with the King of Swords, that could be a highly manipulative energy. So, or just an energy where people aren't acting on their self-awareness, because the King of Swords is definitely self-aware, but just because you're aware of something doesn't mean that you're going to necessarily make the changes to move forward. And so that's what the rest of this year is going to be romantically. It's like saying, how can I make the changes to step forward and move to a more positive place? How can I find a connection with someone that feels good, that feels authentic, that feels like it's satisfactory for me? Now, in terms of career, this would indicate having some pretty good options for you, and possibly even being in a position of leadership, because the devil isn't always negative. Sometimes the devil rules being in a position of power. But if you're working for someone, this can indicate them putting on some stricter regulations for you. Like, there's less freedom, but maybe more responsibility. And it may feel a little bit unfair. I'm sorry if this sounds negative. It's just a thing of life that we all have to go through obstacles and deal with certain things. But really, what we're getting here is you wanting to pursue a different avenue in terms of your job, career, education, if you're in school or something like that. Maybe you want to consider going back to school. It would indicate a sense of being a little bit unsure, because you're not sure what option would make you happy. With the Four of Wands here, it's like saying, okay, this may check all the boxes, but will this job make me happy, or will this career make me happy? Will this, will this degree help me in the future? It's a bit of a little bit uncertainty of where you're going to end up. And I do think you're going to go for it, but it's going to be a challenge. And I feel like you're going to feel like, hey, I've just chosen a different devil, no pun intended. You know what I mean? It's just, what's that saying? You know, choose your devil or something like that. Like what your, either way, the options don't seem like they're panning out to be that fulfilling for you, okay? Just from an emotional standpoint. And then we should look at the fact that we don't have any pentacles here. I mean, the devil can relate to material gains and material benefits, but from a material standpoint, if we're looking at this, it looks like, because the devil's the only material card because it's associated with Capricorn, it looks like that you aren't being really given the amount of, I don't know, would you say income or respectability for the work that you put in. I'm sorry if this sounds bad, pal number one. I don't mean to give out any sort of bad messages, but I have to read the cards how I read the cards and how the truth is. And the truth is that this year you're really looking to expand your options, and it's becoming difficult to find a place for you that will empower you. Okay? It's a lack of being empowered in the sense. And it's not saying that you're going to stay here and you're never going to get what you want. In fact, it's just saying that there's just going to be some challenges. I do, however, believe that you will end up in a position where you will get what you desire. It's just going to take some time, because the devil card is, like I said, associated with Capricorn. And all Capricorn's saying is like, hey, there's going to be a struggle. This isn't going to come easy for you. The rest of the year is not going to be sunshine and peachiness at all. The positive thing is you do have a lot of free time with the Four of Wands here, and whenever I get these swords and cup energy, that's all about mainly being in your head. It's not saying that you're having an extreme amount of difficulty when it comes to being spread thin or something like that. I don't get that energy from this pile. Maybe if you had a lot of wands, but no, we got the Four of Wands and it's reversed. So it's saying you don't really have to put in so much work or effort and your responsibility. So you have plenty of time to think things through and strategize. And I think that's why we go from this Page of Swords to this King of Swords, where you're just like, okay, I got to really start focusing on this career, this build up. The main focus is mainly career and job situation and money situations. And I'm not going to say it's just going to be magically improved. But I do want to say that you'll be taking steps towards a happier, more fulfilled life. It's just going to be challenging. So know that even if you're not getting that support that you need, because the Four of Wands reverse can indicate that lack of support from others, from you being like, oh man, maybe I should switch careers from that. And people are looking at you like, I don't know if you should do that. So, you're going to have to be a little bit of a loner in a sense when it comes to having to validate yourself and validate your own ideas. But the cards are saying you can do it. You're smart, you're resourceful, you're skilled, you have the strength within you. The thing about the devil card is the lovers here that are chained to the devil, they can unchain themselves at any time. They don't have to be wrapped up in the devil's witchcraft or suggestions. They don't have to succumb to any of these boundaries that are being placed on them. And I think you're going to realize that this year. You're going to say, you know what? Actually, I don't have to do this. I don't have to be tied to an area of life I don't want to be tied to. I don't have to deal with certain people I don't want to deal with. And that's what this year is going to be the rest of the year. You're figuring it out and you're understanding that you can move on to a higher place. And that's really what you're going to happen. It's just like this rise above in terms of, how do I get myself out of this situation? I think I can do it. I think I can do it. Okay. You're really put your brain to use and your skills to use. So that is what I have for you, pile number one. I'm sorry if that sounded like it was a little bit tough to hear, but I only read from the reality of what the cards are communicating to me. You're still gonna have some fun times. I do get the Seven of Cups to be like, oh yeah, I'm daydreaming away, I'm relaxing, I'm chilling, I'm having a little bit of fun. and everything like that. So there is that, and you may even get in some good laughs. The King of Swords is somebody who loves to laugh compared to the Devil. So there's definitely going to be some times throughout this year where you're going to look back and be like, that was such a hilarious moment. Even if it was tough, you're going to be able to look back and be like, that was just so funny that I had to deal with that or deal with that person. That was such a wild time, okay? So that's what I have for you, pile number one. And feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Astro_Tarot Research. And I will see you next time. Au revoir. Hey, pile number two. Let's see what the rest of the year will be like for you. We have the Nine of Wands, the Queen of Cups, the Six of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Page of Cups. So we have a lot of court cards here. And when we have a lot of court cards, that definitely indicates a lot of socialization and having to talk to people. So you have a very sociable rest of the year coming up for you. A lot of social interactions, a lot of having to deal with people. And when I get the Queen of Cups in this reverse position, I'm not gonna lie, that can be like having some struggles managing your emotions. I've gotten that card plenty of times before, and it's really just feeling a little bit stressed out when we have this Nine of Wands here. So the rest of the year, there may be some stressors. You know, don't worry about it. It's gonna be fine by the end of the year. Or you may even just have to deal with some people who may be a little bit more irritable, but it is going to be okay. So you have a lot of work ahead of you for the rest of the year. Nine of Wands is obviously that wounded warrior who has to deal with any and everything under the sun, and they don't have any help. You know, they're one step away from collapsing and being in that Ten of Wands energy. So I see you extending yourself quite a bit for the rest of the year. You just have a lot of responsibilities and work and high demands from people around you, or maybe even just demands for yourself and what you want to do. Because the Nine of Wands is somebody who's filled with a lot of passion, who has a lot of interest. And if you're somebody who's highly ambitious, then yeah, you're probably staying up late. You're probably trying to get a billion things done. You're probably trying to, you know, promote your brand or something on social media, or work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, several different projects, take care of kids if you have kids, maybe, you know, take care of nieces, nephews, godchildren, whatever it is that feels required for you, or like you have to. Maybe you're like, oh, I gotta work out this thing, I gotta eat healthy, I've gotta do this, that thing, the other thing, and you're just like, whoa, this is a lot. So your emotions are a little bit high right now, and it becomes harder to manage them. And you know you're stressed. You know that, like, you're very aware of why it is that you're feeling the way you're feeling, but it's not stopping those feelings from coming through. It's not stopping you from having those moments to be like, oh my gosh, I need a glass of wine. You know, I need people to leave me alone. I need to put my phone on silent. I'm going silent on the social medias. I just can't deal with you right now. Okay. You're going to have some moments like that for the rest of the year, but it's going to be good. And when I get the Six of Cups, one thing you can count on is, I will say, maybe at least at some point in the year, you're going to start to get a little bit more support. I usually get the Six of Cups to be like family support, but it could obviously be friends. But, you know, you see all these people sitting together, having fun, like being a part of that same community and eating, it looks like a picnic or something like that. So there are some moments where you can just sit and relax. Maybe you're going to brunch. Maybe it is that you're hanging out with people. I don't know, but this is definitely very, very sociable. And so you are having that downtime at some point. You're having that moment that you can really connect with other people around you. And I think the other people around you are going to really make you just de-stress, and they're going to make you feel really comfortable. And then that's obviously going to cause you to blossom. I really do see like you're doing well with managing your income. You're feeling good. I get the Queen of Wands to be somebody who's taking care of herself physically, as well as taking care of her own interests. I always get the Queen of Wands to represent, oh, I got to do everything I wanted to do today. I got to work on the things I wanted to work on. So instead of like having a job and going and working that 9 to 5 or whatever hours that you may work, part-time, etc., this is just saying that you know, I got to work on the things I wanted to work on. I wasn't working for someone else's company. I got to, you know, go for a walk. I got to eat a nice healthy lunch. I got to work on my projects, my businesses, my interests. So that's where the Queen of Pentacles comes in when it comes to being independent and self-sufficient, as well as being satisfied within your own work. And obviously Page of Cups would indicate more social invites and feeling connected and building partnerships with other people and spending more time with some people you care about and you want to be around and you want to associate with. If we look at this from a love perspective, and we're just kind of taking all the cards in, what this is basically saying is that you're someone who is going to, if you're single, if you're single, you're going to be a little bit guarded when it comes to letting people in. And you're going to be very patient about taking your time. And there's going to be a lot of worries about like who you're letting into your life. I always get the Nine of Wands to be like, okay, who is this person? Why do they want to talk to me? Like, is there something wrong with them? Maybe let me, you know, Google their name. Let me look up their social medias. Let me check to see if they have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Let's see if there's any hidden information here. Like, they double check everything with this Nine of Wands energy. They're on top of it. They're like, okay, I don't know who this person is trying to come into my life, so I got to really check. And the Queen of Cups in this position, she can be not as trusting just because of, you know, past experiences and etc. So really romantically, you're looking at the people who may be coming into your life and saying, okay, I got to really check. I gotta make sure that they are who they say they are. They're not a wolf in sheep's clothing, and that I can be comfortable around them, because you understand that you are vulnerable. You're in a position where you don't want to be hurt and you don't want your feelings to be walked all over. So it just becomes about you wanting to make sure that you connect with the right people. And there may be some romance here. I don't know how deep it is, because I usually get the Six of Cups to be more like a puppy love thing. So it's more like a light romance, light flirtations, and things coming through for you when it comes to the rest of the year. It's not necessarily like I'm in a deep relationship with someone, but it is like, hey, you know what? I like this person. This person's pretty cool. So you could be possibly meeting someone, or meeting a few people who actually turn out to be quite nice, especially with the Page of Cups. You know, they could be flooding you with those compliments, doing all that sweet talk like the Page of Cups does, and you're liking it. You're liking the love, you're liking the attention, you're liking the follow through and the consistency that they are giving you. So it's a nice feeling when it comes to the romantic areas of life. Now, when it comes to the career areas, that's where we have a little bit more of a demand, a little bit more of a, could you leave me alone real quick? Like, you've already given me like 5 different assignments, okay? So that's where it becomes like stressful for you in terms of that, but you are actually benefiting. Queen of Pentacles could possibly be a promotion, or it could just be saying that, hey, I've managed to impress the people that I work with. I've managed to be a good leader if you're in a managerial position. If you're not in a managerial position, maybe you're just a great employee. You become someone that people are relying on. They feel like they can come to you for support. They feel like they can trust you. They feel like they can, you're just a reliable person when it comes to your work. People are definitely, the higher ups are definitely satisfied you when it comes to that. And there could even be some social work events that people are inviting you to. It's going to depend. Obviously, we're in a pandemic, so whatever the case may be, it's going to be different for everyone in that area when it comes to socializing. But for the most part, I get this combination to possibly be maybe some work Skype things going on. I've seen people do that where they have like lunch luncheons and they invite people through Zoom or something like that. So it's possibly some situation going on in that area. But for the most part, work, it is going to be a little bit demanding, but you're going to get through it, and you're going to be able to form a little bit maybe closer bonds with your coworkers or employees or customers or something like that. If you're a person who, you know, it's like me, maybe you have clients, like you're a tarot reader, something like that, or whatever business that you may be in, it's like the people are coming towards you and they're liking what you have to say, they're making you feel good, they're liking your product, and you're blossoming and you're doing well for yourself, and you're able to treat yourself and enjoy the fruits of your labor, as well as you're able to support other people and help other people with what it is that they need and give very good advice. So this really does look like a really great rest of the year for you in terms of all of that. I just see a good amount of just relaxation after all this stress going on, and you're relaxing by, you know, some parts it's a little bit like, oh, let me just go for a walk by myself, but I really do see more of a social rest of the year for you. I really see like, I want to get out there, I want to talk to people, or maybe through video chat, computer, etc., like that, whatever it is, the situation in your area. That's pretty much what's going to be going on. You're going to be trying out some different social events that you may have not thought to go to before. Maybe you try a cooking class, maybe you try a sip and paint, maybe you try, I can't think of anything else that's like, my brain is fried right now. Maybe you go to a festival, maybe you're like, oh, I haven't been to a theme park in a while, let me go do that. So that's what I see for you. Maybe you're like, let's go to a cookout. Whatever it is that you're doing, it's showing, and you're glowing, okay? You're looking good from that downtime, okay? So that is what I have for you, pal. Number 2, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I do see a really great rest of the year for you. So, you know, enjoy it. Enjoy your time that you have and live your life to the fullest. I will see you next time. Au revoir. Hey, pal, number 3, let's get started on the rest of the year for you. We have the Chariot. Oh, no, we have one card before the Chariot. We have the 6 of Cups. We have the Chariot. We have the 5 of Cups. We have the 8 of Wands. I'm going to reverse that because it followed the 5 of Cups. And we have the Knight of Wands. Alright. So, right away, we have the 6 of Cups being like just reflecting, taking some thoughts, having some thoughts about the past, you know, reflecting on just anything and everything that has maybe happened in your life, some memories maybe coming back to you. And then I also get the 6 of Cups to having some, you know, family support, being in a place where you have people who can emotionally comfort you, or maybe even you're just having some old things that may comfort you, like rewatching a favorite show or something like that, along the lines of that, or going to a museum that you may have liked and you're like, oh, I'm revisiting that, and it's it's nice to be there, and it's something like that. It's just like taking a stroll down the past and going back to some things that may have gave you that sense of comfort. With the Chariot here, it does indicate that you are making some strides in whatever it is that you're trying to do, but the 5 of Cups following it does indicate that there does seem to be some disappointment. So maybe you didn't get everything that you set out to get, or the victory doesn't feel like much of a victory with the 7 of Cups here. So it's not saying that you aren't doing well, because it seems like you're doing well, but emotionally it doesn't feel like, hey, I got everything I wanted to get. You know, the 5 of Cups, the traditional Rider-Waite deck, you have the 2 cups filled or 3 cups filled, one of those things, and you have some other cups that are left over. So you're the one who's crying over on the things that you kind of didn't get, or you didn't get to accomplish, or maybe you didn't get to experience. But the thing is, you will have experienced, or you will have gotten a lot of what you set your mind out to accomplish. It's just not all of it, okay? So keep that in mind, because minor arcana cards are things that are very changeable. So if you just kind of change your mindset around, okay, so I didn't get everything I wanted, but I did get a little bit of some of it. So that's going to cause you to have a more positive frame of mind. Now with the 8 of Wands reversed, let me follow this. With the 8 of Wands reversed, what I get is you may be thinking back on how you can improve and complete all your goals. Because to me, it looks like you accomplished a lot of things and that you didn't get to get everything you wanted to get done. But then with the 8 of Wands here, it's like, okay, how can we go back and get what I want? Okay, it looks like you're not giving up. Because if we're upright, it would be like, okay, we're complete, we're moving on, we're trying something else. This is like, no, I really want to accomplish this. I really want to get this done. I really want to make sure that there are no loose ends. And you're somebody who is so determined, okay? Knight of Wands here says that you got all that energy that you really want to put out there in the world, and you really want to make sure that you're doing your best, but you're still learning. You're still learning to express yourself. You're still learning to grow into that King of Wands or Queen of Wands energy that will put you in a more respectable position. So that's something that I see. You're still climbing the career or goal ladder, I should say. It doesn't have to be career oriented, but whatever goal it is that you had in mind, you're still striving towards it, and you're still making pretty decent strides, I'll say, with the Chariot and all that there. If you don't mind, I'm gonna pull one more card for you guys, only because this is so interesting that you just seem to be so determined. And I'm just gonna clarify this 8 of Cups energy here. Yeah, Empress here, trying to make sure that you are completely fulfilled and completely happy. So it's pretty much exactly what I thought that it was going to be, that you're like, okay, I didn't get what I wanted, so let me go back and get what I wanted. So you're really not giving up. That makes sense with the Chariot being right here. It really shows the determination within your personality and the perseverance. But let's look at things from a romantic perspective. From a romantic perspective, you're chilling, okay? You are someone who is taking things easy. There's not heavy movement in the romantic area, but it's not stagnant in any way, especially since we don't have any force. We have a lot of, or at least 2 wands, and then we have the Empress here and the Chariot. So there is some movement in this area. It's just not necessarily what you may have wanted. I think that if you're single, then you're meeting people who may meet a lot of the qualities that you're looking for in a partner, but they don't meet them all. There's something that's a little bit off. There's something that's like, I need to go back to the drawing board with this. I don't know if this person's necessarily the one for me. Because this Knight of Wands energy makes me think that it's very much summer fling. It's very much like, let's, date for a couple of months, a couple of weeks. Let's hash things. It's nothing you see long term. That's what it is. You aren't meeting people that you potentially see as long term. With the 8 of Wands, sometimes upright I can get it to be mixed messages, and sometimes reversed I can get it, hey, I got the message, I just don't want to respond. Like, I don't want to hear it. Like, we're not the same wavelength. Like, I know what you're trying to say to me, but I still don't agree or something like that. Like, that's that's the 8 of Wands reversed. Like, they may get the message, but it may not be exactly what they wanted to hear. And that's what I'm getting for you in your romantic life, where they check all these boxes, but it's still like, it's not it. It's really not it. It's not what you want to hear all the time. It's not the kind of long-term relationship that you want. And you may have some fun, and you see in your mind that, hey, these people or this person, one particular person, whatever it is, may be someone that you like, but it's not necessarily someone you want to keep around, okay? What is occurring? I feel like you're meeting people who want to go a little bit faster than you want to go. And for you, or maybe you want to go a little bit faster. Either way, the pacing is not the same. And if this were upright, I would say you're dating tons of people, but I don't think it's tons of people. I think it, like I said, I feel like it's a smaller amount of options. Not that you are an unattractive person. It's just saying that you don't want to deal with a whole bunch of people. Upright, 8 of Wands is like, I'm dating a bunch of people. Reversed, it's saying that you have the potential that you want to date a bunch of people, but you're choosing not to. That's really what it is. And I think the pacing of these romantic interactions is just not doing it for you in that sense. And I think the communication, it's something about it is not, maybe it's not as spicy as you want it, or maybe it's just not as passionate as you want it to be. For you, it just feels fleeting. I can't expand any more on that other than it just feels fleeting, or it feels a little bit like, you know, throwing darts at the floor. You're like, what's the point of this? What, like, there's no aim here. It feels like this, almost like it's going nowhere fast. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, that's the saying that I'm trying to say. It feels like the romantic relationships are going nowhere fast. All right. So that's what I see from romantically, but there is potential. These are all just minor arcana, so it's not like this is set in stone. But if you're in a relationship, then, you know, it's going to be kind of like same old. But there is going to be possibly some time where you guys seem to be facing some sort of dilemma or facing some sort of choice and within your relationship, and it's about choosing what path you guys want to take and where it exactly is that you want to go. You really have to reevaluate things, and I do get that reigniting of passion at some point, but there's a little bit of a bumpy road. And somewhere in this year, when it comes to maybe your desires and your partner's desires and their emotional needs and your emotional needs, that discussion will probably need to be had, and it's probably going to be hard to bring it up with the 8 of Wands reversed, but it is going to have to come up. It's just going to feel like a little bit awkward timing. It's never going to feel like the right timing to bring up that. And speaking of having that dilemma here, that can also apply to the singles, where you feel like you're choosing between maybe your needs and the needs of the people you're dating, or maybe it's just two different partners or two types of different people, and it's feeling like that, like, okay, I can get this with this person, but then this person also has qualities that I like, and they don't have these qualities, and that person doesn't have these qualities, but this person has this qualities and this person has that qualities. No one's having the full complete picture, which would be complete if the 8 of Wands were upright. There's nothing that feels just complete. It's always like something's missing. When it comes to career, because let's move on to career, what we're getting here is pretty much things are going to go pretty steadily. Definitely you're achieving some sort of recognition within your career, because the Chariot rules victory, getting what you want, and most people want some sort of recognition or maybe some financial gains. I don't see any Pentacles here, but we do have the Empress hanging out on the end. So it's possible that there could be some increase in profit, or maybe even changing positions. But I don't know, because with the Five of Cups and the Eight of Wands reversed, I usually get this for people having some struggles, or not being like satisfied within their work. And it feels like with the Eight of Wands upright, I would say, oh, that's person like applying for a lot of different jobs, or going to different avenues, and just kind of putting whatever out there and seeing what takes. With this card reversed, normally I get it to mean someone who is a little bit more strategic about which jobs they apply to. It's not like you're applying to tons and tons of jobs, but you are still putting yourself out there. It's just not at a speedy rate, and it's not at a rate that's and you're not as, I don't know if unparticular is a word, but I'll say you're more particular about the positions you will be applying to if you are planning on switching positions. And you're doing so to ensure that you are happy within your next position. The Knight of Wands can indicate a new opportunity in the area of career or field, or even just new creative opportunities. Maybe it's something you do on the side in comparison to your job, or maybe it's talking about your career and job in general, that you're like, okay, well, I see an opportunity here to, grow in some way, and maybe you seize the day in that area. But it's not a ton and tons of opportunities that are coming in for you. Only because there's not many, it looks to me there's not many positions that you could personally take, and it has nothing to do with your skill level. It's just that the opportunities aren't out there. Like, you can apply for a lot of stuff, but that would just kind of burn and waste your energy. And so you're just like, okay, well, let me be a little bit more strategic about it, and let me find something else. But with the Knight of Wands here at the end, what I get is you do have that passion that's going within you throughout the whole year, that ability to want to move forward, want to strive, want to keep going, want to strive towards success 100%. And the good thing about this is you're not being overworked, you're not being overburdened, but you may have a few more minuscule tasks, because I get the Knight of Wands to be somebody who has to do the grunt work of things, versus the King and Queens. They can kind of delegate tasks. You're the person that those tasks are being delegated to. And I think they may not, it's not saying they won't be completed. It's just maybe that you're doing things on your time. I really do get that. Because obviously if your work wasn't completed, you'd probably get fired. But it's more so you're doing things on your time. And you're like, I'm not letting people rush me. I'm really not. Okay? So that's what you have here in terms of everything. I do see possible travel, because the Chariot is there. And then we have the Knight of Wands, and those cards like to move around a little bit. And then the Eight of Wands can be travel, but because it's reversed, it's probably like you're traveling not for that long of a period, or it's just like it's not a lot of different traveling that's going on. It's not a lot of roaming about. It could just be one long trip, possible two. That is an opportunity. That is one of the interpretations, I have to say, because it could just say, okay, I took one long trip and then we're done. But this can just also be that you're taking little short trips around the area. That's another interpretation. Versus if this were like upright, I would say, okay, this person's going on several vacations, okay, or something like that, or several trips that are just a significant normal amount of term. But this is like, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different of an interpretation. but definitely there's a little bit dissatisfaction at work, but I feel like you're trying to work your way through it. You're trying to stay focused, though it can be hard because the Knight of Wands can have a slow, a very erratic intention. The Knight of Wands can have a very erratic attention span. And that's really what I wanted to focus on. Your attention span at work is a little bit scattered. Things are getting done, but it's on your time, and it's just like you're not feeling it. You really want to go after what makes you passionate. That's the thing with this year. But overall, I do see you having a lot of successes. I do see you moving up in the world and getting a lot of the things you want done. Maybe everything's not done, but you are getting the things you want done. Money-wise, it's different because it doesn't seem like the focus is heavily on money with this reading. It's more on emotional satisfaction and feeling like you can accomplish your goals and wanting to tie up any loose ends that you have when it comes to, you know, just being happy and getting what you need in your own creative works. And that could be in every area. I just focus mainly on love and career because that's the main focus for a lot of people. But I will see you guys next time, and hopefully you enjoyed the reading, and au revoir. Hey, pal number 4, let's see how the rest of the year will be for you. We have the 3 of Wands, we have the 10 of Swords, we have the 9 of Swords. You guys are a little stressed out. We have the 7 of Cups, and we have the Ace of Wands. All right. So I don't know if you guys are feeling a little bit down lately, or if you just feel like you have a lot of stress and anxiety going around, but it does seem like that is going to be something you have to deal with for the rest of the year. Definitely with the 10 of Swords and the 9 of Swords combination, that can be some negative thinking patterns and feeling like things are not going to work out the way you want it to, or feeling like you can't fully express yourself, or feeling like things are just tough. And it feels like you're in a tough circumstance and you're wanting to work your way out, but you just have all these and you have all this anxiety and stress and nervousness that's there. And so that's something that you're going to have to manage this the rest of the year, and try to manage those emotions and trying to keep positive thoughts, because you're really putting yourself out there. Anytime I get the 3 of Wands, it's like I put myself out there. I've put my ideas out there, and I'm waiting for that feedback. Or I just was talking about this in another reading. I've applied for that job, and I'm waiting to hear back from them. And I hope things are going well. And gosh, I don't know. What if I don't get the job? And and that's like what your mind's doing. And you guys need to just relax, okay? Well, that's what I need from you. I need you to take a breather and just relax, because you don't want to stress yourself out like that for this year. You don't want to have to deal with all those anxieties. You guys need to focus more on that positive thought so you can have a good, fulfilling rest of the year, and don't worry about the things that you can't control. You've already done what you can do. The 3 of Wands is here, and it's saying that you're already doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're already putting in the work, and it's just a matter of you finding something to do in the meanwhile so that you don't focus on those things, like I said, that you can't control. And your imagination's like running wild with how everything could just go wrong for the rest of the year. And you're neglecting to see the opportunities in front of you with this Ace of Wands. You're focused so much on things that may have not worked out in the past, because the Ace of Wands reverse is like saying there's no new beginning, there's no new start, there's nothing else out there. This is all I have. But there's tons of things out there. There's tons of places and things and ideas and ways that you can grow and blossom. So I feel like this reading is more like of a advice thing. It's not really like this has to be your year. It has to be gloom and doom. It has to be suffering. It's saying no, like just keep going, keep making moves, keep moving forward, keep positive, and don't get caught up in the stressors and all the little nitpicky things about life, okay? We all have to go through the horrible times, and we all have to deal with difficult circumstances. And if it's some mental health problems, it may be you need to get into some therapy or meditate or focus more on spirituality. One thing that's a good therapy tactic is focus on the present. And these cards don't focus on the present. They focus on the past and how horrible things can go in the future and everything messing up. It's just saying, no, let's live in this moment. Let's live in the calm. Let's live in the peacefulness if it's there. And if it's not there, we're going to create it. 7 of Cups. Like I said, you are getting these opportunities, but it's like you may not be acting on them. Or maybe you just don't think they're good ideas. Whatever it is, it's just saying that you need to take the initiative to act. 7 of Cups can be kind of a lazy card. I'm not saying that you're lazy. I'm saying that it can be saying that you're getting things in front of you and you're not taking any action. Or you have ideas, but you haven't put them out there. You have thoughts, you get inspired, but you're not making any moves. You're not doing anything with the Ace of Wands reversed. And you need to do some things. It will make you a lot happier and more fulfilled. So instead of like living in this fantasy of like, what if this happened? Or what if I did that? Or what would my life be like if these things occurred? Just go for it and do it. See if you can make it happen. So that's the thing with this pile number 4. You got to go and make things happen. So let's look at the rest of the year for a romantic perspective. If this were a romantic perspective, this would be kind of saying like, oh, I'm in a long distance relationship. That could be for some people if you're in a relationship. Or I'm in a long distance texting situation. We don't see each other that much. We're a little bit further away. What does this person think of me? Does this person like me? I don't know what's happening. Like, it's just a lot of stress here. Maybe I should move on to other options, but I kind of like this person, or maybe I'm not finding that spark. That's what's happening with the romanticness. If you choose to kind of hone into that negative thought pattern. But it kind of goes off in that way. Like, maybe I should get out there. No, I don't want to get out there. I don't want to try those dating apps again. That's terrible. Oh, I don't want to go on that date. Oh, I'm so tired. It's going to be the same thing. It's disappointing. This person stresses me out. What should I wear? Like, how should I talk? What do they think of me? This is, pile number 4. I'm going to need you to calm down. I'm going to need you guys to relax. So if you're single and you're dating, that could be a pattern that you incur for the rest of the year. A lot of stressors and worrying about this person and that person, and how would it be to put yourself out there, and how would it be to be in that relationship and to have that sense of comfort, and then you don't do anything. You don't make an act. You don't move forward. Maybe because one situation hasn't worked out, or several situations haven't worked out in the past. And if you're in a relationship, as I said, it may feel like you're a little bit distant from your partner. Even if you're not physically distant, this could possibly be emotionally distant. And it may feel like the communication is not working. It's a little harsh. Or it's like you guys are having some difficulties maybe understanding each other. And I think that you'll probably have to work on a little bit more of the communication so that you can be excited and you can want to see each other, because the Ace of Wands can be like that passion's dying out, that fire's dying, because the work's not being done and the communication's not strong and it's not there. And communication's everything. Communication is definitely 100% understanding who you're with, and understanding what you need and how you guys' love languages are. So that's something that if you're in a partnership to think about for the rest of the year. Career-wise, I think that you're trying to move on to a better place. It could be just moving up in your job, or making strides towards more fulfillment in the job area or aspect of your life. Like, you just feel like you want more from whatever job or career, or even schooling. If you're in school, you want to go to that higher place, that higher step. And maybe you're worried about how to get there and how to navigate those future situations and the communication at work could be tough. Maybe you've got to deal with some coworkers who can be rough with the language, or maybe you have a toxic work environment. This can also mean that. But whatever the case may be, it's just feeling like your job isn't as exciting as it used to be in a way. But at the same time, you recognize that you could go on to maybe a different position at your job, or even just a different job, or as I said, career, or switch schools, or just take different classes if you're in school. Like, you recognize that it is what you make it in that sense, and you're thinking about all of the different ways that you can make the situation improve. And maybe you're stuck on not knowing how. Maybe you're stuck in trying to really express your ideas at work, and maybe you're not getting support or feedback. Maybe it feels like your company is stuck in the past, and they're not making any strides forward, and they're not taking anybody else's ideas seriously, and they're not being good managers, and upper management may be blocking you from succeeding, because it may not even be all on you. It could just be saying, hey, I keep hitting these roadblocks. I'm coming with the ideas, but my ideas are being rejected. So that's something that may be something that's happening. But if we look at something positive that we're getting out of this, is that you're not having like difficulties with money. Anytime I just get a reading with lax pentacles, it kind of means like, oh, there's really nothing to worry about in that area. And not only that, but there does seem to be you getting some new experiences, because pentacles can be things are slow moving, things are kind of dragging on, and it doesn't look like this is going to be a year that's dragging on. The rest of the year is going to fly by for you. And not only that, but there's no, I don't want to use stagnation. It's more like there's not a huge routine. It does seem like new things are happening all the time. So you're getting that mental stimulation, possibly too much mental stimulation, because I get the 10 of Swords to be like, there's too much going on. I feel like I got 1,001 things floating on in my brain. But that is one thing that could be happening. There is some excitement in that area. It's just a matter of finding maybe the right kind of excitement, the right kind of drama-free things that need to happen, because these cards right here, this can bring the drama, okay? And it can be coming from other people, because threes can be representative of third-party situations. So it could be other people bringing in the drama, and you're like, whoa, what is this? Heck no, I don't want to deal with that, okay? Fall back, but you're kind of like getting caught in the middle of someone else's mess, and it's just not what you want to do. It's not what you want to be in. It's not where you want to go. So that's something that's there. But as I was saying, the financial area is not going to be bad, or it's not going to be something that's going to be a main stressor for you. Like I said, there's going to be a little bit more stimulation. It's not going to be a boring year. I know that for sure. And not only that, but you can look forward to having a very wide imagination and feeling inspired. It's just a matter of acting on that inspiration that becomes part of your challenge for this year. But I do see, even though there's some difficulties and there's some challenges, it's just a matter of you taking the initiative, because when we have no major arcana, that means that this is not set in stone. You have a lot of leeway for how you want the rest of your year to go. You could change this at any moment. It's not like you have to be caught in a bad situation at all. You can empower yourself and make changes. That's really good for this pal. A lot of the pals have some major arcana, which makes it very difficult to change the outcome, but you have a lot of leeway and a lot of room to, as I said, empower yourself for the rest of the year. So that is what I have for you, pile number 4. Don't take this as a bad thing or a negative thing. I kind of feel like this pile was more of like a warning, more so than like this is what it has to be and this is where it's going to go. It's just saying that, hey, you may need to make some changes, because Maybe the people around you are acting a little funky, or maybe you see that you're not being, you know, respected in your work, or your ideas aren't being respected, or it's causing you, your work may be causing you a lot of stress, and so it's time to move on. But that is what I have for you, pal. Number 4. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram, and I will see you next time. Au revoir. Hey, pal number 5. Let's get started on your reading. We have the 3 of Cups. We have the Ace of Swords. We have the Ace of Cups. We have the Hermit. And we have the Ace of Swords again. Wow! 2 Aces of Swords. So we know some new things are happening. It's all about new beginnings for you and making some new starts and strides within the rest of the year. You got some new ideas coming. You're cutting out the BS. You're leaving room for what's going to be good to come in. You're maybe forming some new partnerships with people, and you're having fun. Like, this is such a good pal for the rest of the year. Like, you are just really taking every day with just having a lot of leisure time and enjoying yourself and not getting caught up in anything that's like, sorry, this is not good for me. Like, if someone's bringing the drama, you're saying, nope. Like, you're just cutting out any BS, okay? Anything that you don't want, you're saying, no, thank you. And the Hermit implies that even though we're getting the social time, we do have our downtime here. Overall, in general, I kind of feel like it's just a year. The rest of the year is going to be pretty decent for you. We have no wands, and a lack of wands would indicate a lack of responsibilities. Not saying you have no responsibilities, but comparison to a few other pals, you guys aren't really having a heavy duty amount of responsibilities. We also don't have any pentacles, so that lets me know that you're probably not too stressed about money, or like, it can also just indicate that there's a lot of new events and new happenings all the time, because pentacles represent routine, and as well as, you know, having things be very slow. Anytime I get swords and cups, what that means is just things are going to go by really fast. Like a really, not super fast, because it would have been, if it was swords and wands, then that's like a blink of an eye. But things are going by pretty fast, and you're just creating really positive and really good memories for this year. You guys are in a really good headspace. You feel like you're learning, you're growing, and you're changing your perspective on a lot of different things. And you're spending time with the people that you love and that you want to be around. And you're feeling like a lot of emotional fulfillment, and you're really thinking and analyzing your emotions. There just seems to be a lot of self-growth and self-awareness. And then the Hermit card I also get to be associated with Virgo, and it can feel a little bit like being a little bit of the outsider sometimes. So maybe you're going to social events, but you're kind of like seen as like the black sheep of social events or something like that. Or it's just saying that like there's something different about you. Maybe you're a little bit of a unicorn and in that way. But let's look at things from a romantic perspective. From a romantic perspective, this would indicate if you're single, then not settling down. 3 of Cups is definitely casual dating, or just, you know, enjoying people's company. Having some good conversations, some good flirtations, maybe even possibly the romance may not be there, so it moves on to friendship, or maybe the romance starts to blossom into a new romance with the Ace of Cups here. But either way, you're enjoying it, but you're not like getting caught up in, oh, I need to find someone, I need someone there. Especially with the Hermit here, you're just like, all right, it's cool, like if I find someone, I find someone, if I don't, I don't. But the Hermit would indicate being more single for the rest of the year. I usually get the Hermit to represent being single, but it's not necessarily all the time. This can just be like, oh, I'm dating a few people, or I found someone I'm dating, but maybe we're not super official. We're still in the Ace of Cups phase. We're not at that 2 of Cups. We're not in that bond yet. We're still in the talking stages, all right? So what I get here too, if you're in a relationship, then it's just saying as a couple, maybe you guys are hanging out with your friends. Maybe you're going to more parties. Things are starting to open up more. So maybe you're having more social gatherings. Possibly you're talking to you know, friends, family. You're just having a good time within your relationship. You feel like you can have open communication with your partner. You're feeling very connected and you feel like you guys are very much in tune with each other. You're also learning a little bit more about each other and you're kind of getting used to each other's little quirks and everything. I just get this strong emphasis on having very clear communication within your relationship and what exactly that it is that you guys want from each other, what you may expect in a partnership. That becomes very important for the both of you at this time. In terms of a career, because we're flying through this reading because it's so positive and everything, it's saying that you're enjoying work. Like you're enjoying the task being given. You feel like you maybe be given some new things. So it's like a relief. It's less monotonous work. You're like, oh great. It's not like the same thing every day, boring me to death. Like you feel like you're being stimulated by the work. Maybe you feel like you're encountering some challenges, but they're good challenges and you feel good about it. Sometimes the Ace of Cups can be like, oh, I'm very emotional right now, but it's okay because you're able to like center yourself and gather your thoughts and be like, oh, okay, let me just have a Zen moment. Let me pull back. I don't need to get so emotionally involved in my work all the time. I just need to focus and kind of do my job and be really good and precise at it. And I feel like you're also bringing in new ideas to your work, or maybe it's just saying that you're having interesting conversations when it comes to your bosses and your employees, because the Hermit does represent Virgo and Virgo represents work and the 6th house. So it does seem that you are making some good strides in that area, or it just seems like that area of life becomes a very central focus, but work is not feeling heavy. It's not feeling like this is such a burden and I can't take another day. It's like, all right, well, I'm going to work and I'm talking to my coworkers and I'm having, or clients, if you don't have like coworkers, if you're not like a 9-to-5, or I'm talking to my classmates, I'm talking to my teachers, and I'm just kind of chilling and I'm learning some new things. I'm taking on some new perspectives. I'm taking some new classes. I'm reading some new books. I may be educating myself. Maybe I'm getting a certificate. And I'm trying to make those improvements and make those strides within work, schooling, goals, etc. like that. See, this is such a straightforward pal that I'm like, what else could I possibly even say for the rest of the year? If we're talking about like traveling, maybe you take a few planes. I've gotten air swords to represent flights and everything, but maybe you're doing like a girls or guys trip, maybe even some solo traveling. I wouldn't say it's huge amount of traveling, but I could be wrong, but I just don't get that, because the Hermit, I mean, he does wander around, but like he pretty much goes back to his like little cave and den. So he's not really like, he's more of like a homebody than anything for the most part. And if we're talking about, if you want to make some improvements, Hermit card can be good for health in a way. So it's like educating yourself on health, working out, routines in that area, drinking more water, etc. like that. That could be something that's very much Hermit related, as well as finding, it's just more like finding out more knowledge when it comes to the area of health and fitness. So that could be something that's within a possibility. Maybe you even join like a group. There's like, what are those called? I'm thinking something like Jenny Craig, but there could also be like fitness groups and stuff like that. So that's something, if you're interested in that, then that would be like gaining knowledge in that area, or even just more knowledge about your own personal fitness and healthy habits and what feels good to you and what tastes good to you and what's something that you like. That could be something to think about. It can also indicate some doctor's appointments, making sure you're checking up on everything and making sure that you feel good and that you are all set in that area and any aches and pains are taken care of. And that's something that you would be doing because, like I said, I'm just focusing more on that Virgo Hermit energy. But really, it's about contemplating and really thinking about the things that are being said to you and the things that are going on within your world. There's a strong concentration on your own inner world at this time for the rest of the year. I feel like this year is a year of just contemplation for you. It's not a year where you need to speed ahead and build this empire. It's just saying, okay, let's take some time to sit and reflect and think about some stuff. I really get that vibe for you for the rest of the year. You're really just kind of like, all right, I need to go back into my shell and I need to regroup and I need to really learn more about me and figure out maybe more about you as a person and what exactly that you wish to focus most of your day-to-day energy on. But that's what I have for you, pile number 5. It looks like the rest of the year is going to be quite marvelous. And I hoped you enjoyed the reading, and I hope to see you next time. Au revoir.